Hi guys, welcome back to my video. This is the knowledge guide and today you're watching Python. So in today's video, we are going to take up all the basics of Python, including all the loops, the case statements, variable declaration and print statement, like the output statement of Python. So I'm going to touch the basics today, and let's start with the print statement. So a print statement is basically a statement to output your data, and it really helps you in many ways. So the first thing I'm going to discuss in a print statement is the brackets. So the brackets should be curved and they cannot be rectangular. So I've tried this many times, and also you cannot leave a space between the like you have a choice to leave a space between the print and the brackets so that you don't get confused. Well, I don't usually keep a space there because I have to write a hashtag there. So in a print statement you can write anything like a variable or a numerical or something in inverted commas. Oh sorry, numericals don't work. So there are two types of inverted commas that you can use, like both do the same thing. So one is double inverted commas and one is single, so you can use both and both work properly. And inside you can put anything like a number or a simple word, like anything you want to put. And then so like right now I'm declaring a variable. So in this variable, a variable is something in which you can put anything, like anything that you can think of, like not pictures but still. So suppose I'm declaring a variable called the, and in the you have to put an equal to sign to input. So in the I write a decimal number. So a decimal number can, so you can either use a decimal number or a word, or you can use an integer also. So everything works. And well, I'm going to forget about the boolean one, so I'm telling you that I'll put a boolean also later. So here we go. So there are many types of variables which you can declare. So the first one comes as the normal variable. So a variable can be of different digits or alphabets, or you can even use different types of alphabets like the capped one or the uncapped one. So right now I'm using a simple one, so it shows this. So the comma that separates it simply shows you that it is getting a space in between. So this comma is really important. Without this comma the code won't work. And suppose, let's say, so I can simply put a space in between. So you cannot put a space in between, you can put an underscore there in a place of space, because you cannot leave space between variables. It's a rule of Python, so it works in that way also. And you can also put a numerical in the alphabet without leaving a space, so it also works there. So I'm going to show you how to put how it is used before I just do something which I was doing earlier. The server got lost. Anyways, yeah, so basically I'm going to show you how to write a variable in so many ways. So right now I'm declaring choice just to show you an example of how a numerical might be used. So suppose my choice is 5 and then I print something, and then I put a comma and put my variable. So if you want to take two choices from a user, then you can simply put the other variable as choice2, and then you can input the data, and then you can put a printing statement which will spat out the other variable. So here it's my print is going to give out choice2 and then the value inside choice2. So the commas is a must, and without the commas it will give a syntax, so you have to put the comma. And someone might just say that you can put a plus sign also, so plus sign doesn't work. So here it goes. So if you need to put a plus sign, you can put a plus sign between two similar values. It doesn't work every time, I must say. Yeah, so right now you can also leave the inverted commas empty, so that will simply print the value of the variables. And also you can simply remove them, and if you remove them, the commas are not needed anymore, because the commas are there to separate different values, so they are not needed anymore. So it will simply print the values of the variables. So this is the basic variable declaration and your printing statement. So next we are going to move on. So while loop, and then we are going to discuss the for loop. So let me just type it, and then we'll discuss the if statement. Well, I'm going to separate it by today. These videos you'll get. No, I'm going to just simply put a single video on this. So this statement also. And with if, you also use an else statement, which I'll also discuss in the video. So anyone who wishes to understand these can fast forward the video, so you'll automatically get to the last point. And you don't need to watch the entire video. It's just for your convenience that I have put a single video, because then it would take a longer time to upload it one by one. So choice 2 is greater than choice. So in a while loop, you basically put a statement. Well, I wish that the audio was being recorded at the time I was actually doing it, because right now it feels like I'm talking to myself. So anyways, in a while loop you need to put a statement and a print, so for the output. So I'll simply put choice is greater. No, choice is greater, yeah. And then to end the loop, you need to put another statement like choice minus 2. Yeah, I hope that was the one I used. Yeah, so choice minus 2. So that will also work. So it will simply say choice is greater, and then it will stop the loop, because here what's happening is choice minus 2 is making choice less than choice 2. So if you don't put that statement, the loop will go on and on and on, and it won't stop. Like you can see it in the server crash video. the same thing happened and the server got crashed. So I'm not going to do this today. So let's hope that Python developers just fix this issue, because many people do it and it leads to heavy losses sometimes. And next I'm going to discuss a for loop. So a for loop is just better in this case in front of while loop. So in a while loop you need to declare choice is equal to choice minus 2, which is not needed inside a for loop. In a for loop you simply, like, the for loop is smarter than the while loop, so the for loop increments the value itself. So I'm going to discuss the limitations of for loop also. So but that will happen later. Oh my god, what am I doing? Yeah, so in a for loop you need to put a statement, like more like put it in a range. Well, I'm going to discuss another aspect of it in the video of arrays, which I'm going to upload shortly. So you can put a printing statement right there, and I'm going to print my name. So it will print my name 10 times because the range was 10. So let's count it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's 10. So anyways, so that happens. So you can put it another way, like you can put the range inside two values from 0 to 10. So there is a default of for loop that it starts with 0 and it ends with the number that you put there, but you can obviously declare two values, so then it will start at that value and end at that value. So to get to know that, you need to declare that value right there. So it will come in that range. Oh, I wish the microphone was on that time. So it doesn't work in reverse. So if you put it in reverse, it won't work. So let's just take it the normal way. So you can print x, so x will be like, in the first time it will be 5, then 6, and so on, and it will end at 9. And this is what happens when you put a range inside two values. So I'm going to show you in reverse what happens now. So it will simply, it won't work because because x is now is smaller than the range, because x for defaults, like, x is taken as 0, so 0 is definitely out of the range 10, so it won't work. So you need to put x is equal to x minus 1 and x is equal to 9, for instance, because that will be within range. But it will still not work because obviously x minus 1, because for loop as a default increments the value, and if I just decrease it by 1, so it will definitely take it as, well, you know. So I'll discuss that later. So let's do if. So in if statement, it's very similar to the while statement, but it's just that while is a loop and if statement is just a condition. So in if statement, suppose x is greater than 1, so I'll print x. So let's remove that. Let's remove the for loop also. Well, I need to declare x first because then it will give an error if I don't declare x beforehand. So let's run it. So you'll see that it printed 9 just because x was greater than 1. So it printed 9 because x is 9 and 9 is always greater than 1. So that happened. And next we are going to take the else. So else is just a little brother of if statement. So you can't put a statement right there because it's just like verbally when you talk to someone, like if this or this. So or sometimes you use else because so you don't give a statement right there. So if this doesn't happen, it's else is just a plan B, right? So I'll put x is smaller as a plan B, and let's take choice as true. So true is a boolean, so it will convert itself into a boolean, so it's not an integer anymore. So the variable is not an integer anymore, it's a boolean now. Yeah, so I'll put choice there, and then I'll say choice is greater than 1. So if choice will be greater than 1, so choice is a boolean and it's an integer, so obviously the values don't match, so they cannot be compared properly, so it will just go to the plan B. So I need to put something like true here, so then the values are comparable, but still because the values are equal, they are not greater than each other, so the values don't match the criteria. So if I write an equal to, it will give me an error again, because in Python you need to remember one thing. You need to, if you are making a case statement, you need to put two equal to signs. So you need to visualize these things inside your mind to understand what it really means. So here when I'm using both, it says true. So my code works, right? So if I write it false, so the values don't match and it will go to plan B. So that's how it works, right? So next, I don't remember what I was going to show you, but I'll try my best. Yeah. So let's see, when I am not sure what I was doing right there, or what I was explaining, by the way. So I was going to write it false, I guess. No, yeah, so taking the input from the user. So here you can put an value like integer, and then you need to put a bracket there and write input, and then you need to put a bracket there. And Python is really helpful because it actually gives you space to write something for the user, like please enter the value of choice. So I'm going to use this, please enter the value of choice 1. So right here it's going to ask you the value, like very politely, just the way I programmed it. So I'm going to say it is true. Like you can see in the above place, it's written int. So int means integer. So true is obviously not an integer, so it will give me an error, invalid literal. So I'm going to convert it into a string. No, I'm going to convert it into boolean. Yeah. So if I write it as a boolean and then I write true, so then it works. So if you're making a code, you need to be really careful whether it should be a boolean or a string, like depending on what the user may choose, right? So if it's a string, you can just put anything, like anything you wish, so it will work. And then like in the input statement, you can only put a string there and nothing else. if you try to write a variable right there, it won't work. Like, I'm going to show you a proper way. So I'm going to cut it and paste it after the statement, and I'm going to take the statement below also, because otherwise it will give me an error. So obviously I can't show you all the errors in Python because it will take too long for the video to get complete. So see, we get a type error here, right here, right? So the only thing you can put here is a string. So anyways, I'm going to remove it. So if you remove it also, it will simply not display anything. So you have to just simply put the value without seeing anything. It's like completely blinded. So you rather not do that to the user. So anyone who doesn't know where I code, so my platform is onlinegdb.com. So because in my laptop the Python doesn't work, so I use OnlineGDB, and it's really easy to share this code with you. So I'm going to put a while loop now. So in this while loop, like, I'm going to show you how it is better than for loop. So in while loops, you can actually compare different values. Like, you can compare strings, you can compare booleans, which is not allowed in for loops. So right now I'm going to declare a boolean. So choice is my boolean right here. Well, I'm going to do a terrible mistake right here, because above it's written string and now I'm declaring a boolean right here. So it will just simply pass away. It won't care, right? So I'm going to print the statement now. So before I print the statement, I'm going to declare a if statement inside the while statement. So if you ask a professional, they will say that it's called nesting. So nesting is nothing, it's simply putting one statement into another. Sorry, one keyword statement into another. Like, I'm putting a while loop here and then I'm putting a if statement inside the while statement. So it's like the boss and the junior. So the boss stands back and the junior stands in front, right? That's what happens. So the more junior you get, the more farther you stand. So if I put this print statement before, like on the same line as the while statement, they both become the boss. So they are both independent now. So they are not dependent on each other anymore. So that's when the problem arises. Like, many people do these silly mistakes, and it costs them to check the entire code line by line. So if choice 2 is greater than 1, I'm going to say, like, obviously it's greater than 1, so I'm going to write true is equal to false this time, just to end the loop, because you've already seen what happens if you don't end the loop in time. So maybe so another thing, like, while the boss and the junior are there in while and if, the if also has a junior. So like, everything you put has a junior or a senior. So that's how the code works. And it's really important to do nesting, because it makes your code neater. And there's an option on the top which says beautify. Beautify is nothing, just putting brackets where they are needed, so they don't actually correct your mistakes like the junior and the senior one. So here another invalid syntax. So in this also and also in the statement, both places you need to put a double equal to sign. Really important, right? Otherwise it won't work. So like you'll just bang your head and say like, why is not working? Like I am doing everything perfectly and it's just this simple equal to sign which causes the entire problem. So I faced a lot of problems like these. So I'm going to write true here because it's a boolean now. Right? No. Oh, now I realized it. It was a string. So I'm going to correct this mistake now. Well, it's a deadly mistake, but still, I make mistakes too. Yeah. So here it should be boolean because down below I'm comparing it to a boolean, so it should be boolean initially. So I'll write true here and it will say true just once, because if it says again it's going to be down. So I'm going to save my project, like I'm going to name it basics. So I'm going to share this link with you guys so that you can code, so that you can look at it for yourself. And another site which I wanted to suggest is W3 Schools. So that is a site which will give you all the basics you need. And do subscribe and like my video if you liked it, and do not forget to share it with others. It really helps me. Thank you guys. Have a nice day and stay safe.